Children and fast fashion. What is fast fashion? Fast fashion is the production of cheap, trendy clothing that moves quickly from catwalk to stores so companies can take advantage of trends. Fast fashion started around 1970s and became popular in the late 1990s and early 2000s, where low-cost fashion reached its peak. Online shopping took off and fast fashion retailers such as H&M, Zara, and Topshop took over the high street. When spotting fast fashion brands,
What is this for?
are you going to change it? I'm just going to do it as I go. Street. When spotting a fast fashion brand, some key features to look for include cheap in price, thousands of different styles, quality materials, effects on
Is that meant to
companies.
say min?
Where?
It says min.
Where?
Is it meant to say min? In cheap. Next to cheap.
Cheap. Cheap. Cheap in price.
Okay.
Effects on companies. Fast fashion squeezes companies in order to maximize profit and create clothing as cheap as possible without spending a dime. The dangerous system of profit at all costs can cause unethical and unrealistic ideas that, when implemented, can cause severe damage to society and the surrounding environment. This fantasy of an idea that fast fashion companies can get all profit at no expense is unrealistic, yet they've figured out ways to minimize the costs no matter how unethical or inappropriate. Such an approach used to cut costs include bringing children into the working world of the fast fashion industry in undeveloped countries. Why does it exist? Well, cheap labour for children is freely available in many of the countries where textile and garment production takes place. Most children are easily brought into these industries under false promises of earning decent wages. In rural areas, children are subject to work long days in order to support their families. Child labour is a
Getting deep.
particular issue for fast fashion because much of the supply chain requires low-skilled labour, and some tasks are even better suited to children than adults. For example, in cotton picking, employers prefer to hire children because their small fingers do not cause damage to the crops. Children are seen as obedient workers who slip under the radar, making them easy to manage. Where does it happen? Children can work in every stage of the supply chain in the fashion industry. This includes the production of cotton seeds in Benin, harvesting cotton in Uzbekistan, yarn spinning in India, right through to the different phases of putting garments together in factories across Bangladesh. In the cotton industry, children are employed to transfer pollen from one plant to another. The children are required to just make this. They are required. Sorry about that. They are required to transfer pollen.
What's going on here, Jaxon?
And are subject to long hours, exposure to pesticides, and they are often paid below minimum wage, around $1 a day. How long has it been going on for? Child labour was first introduced around 1791 to 1850s during the Industrial Revolution. By the 1820s, 60% of children at the age of 10 and 30% of children at the age of 8.
Is this truthful information here? Factual?
Yeah. At the age of 8, started working. Families sent their children to work in factories, mills, and mines because of the same reason while children work. Let me restart that sentence. Families sent their children to work in factories, mills, and mines because of the same reason why children work in the fast fashion industry today. Money. I'm going to get rid of that. Because of the lack in a comfortable level of wealth. That sounds better. Yeah. Because where did I write that?
Also, I think after the 8, I think you did 2 spaces.
Oh, good spot. I'm sick of saying children. I'm going to say kids.
Mix it up a bit.
Kids as young as 5 or 6. No, I'll say children here. It doesn't make sense. Children as young as 5.
Drop it like guitar.
Guys, be quiet, please.
And I think
Children as young as 5 to 6 would work more than 12 hours a day for 6 days a week. The ILO, International Labour Organization, estimate that around 170 million children are engaged in child labour, with many making textiles and garments to satisfy the demand of the consumers in Europe, US,
Fuck,
and
you're gonna go
beyond.
take a long time to fucking get through the class
Please be
doing this
quiet.
shit.
Yeah, we've got 3 lessons. It's 10 minutes for each person. What are the
Jesus.
challenges?
Do you have to talk for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Fucking
I'm not too stressed.
Yeah,
It's always the
fine.
first like 2 minutes that I shit myself and I'm just chilling. Employers get away with it because the fashion supply chain is super complex and it is hard for companies to control every stage of production. This makes it possible to employ children without big brands and consumers ever finding it out. This makes it possible to
Jackson,
employ
go like
children.
third, so like people like got their heads down.
Oh, what?
Get bored. Go like third.
Yeah, I also have to make a sheet of notes, print out 21 copies and give it out to the class. Even when brands have strict rules in place for suppliers to follow, the production can sometimes get subcontracted to other factories that the buyer may not even know about. This makes it hard for big brands to know where their supply is coming from. What can businesses do? The Fair Wear Foundation is a non-profit organisation that works with garment brands, factories and trade unions to improve working conditions for garment workers. The foundation has a list of over 120 brands that have signed up to its Code of Labour Practices, which strictly do not allow the use of child labour. Probably going to add more there. The brutal cycle. Child labour starts when children are born into families that are in poverty, and the kids need to start working at a young age to provide enough income to survive. As a result, children miss out on a decent education and end up working low-paid jobs for the rest of their lives. This means when they grow older and have children of their own, the cycle resets and their kids are likely to follow the same fate. This cycle clearly identifies the importance of a decent education and how hard it is to break the poverty line without it. It's very rare for children in the garment-producing countries to get a fully paid education and rise up, bringing themselves and their family to a comfortable level of wealth. Other interesting facts: 51 countries use child labour in at least one part of their clothing production. Around 500,000 children work by producing cotton seeds. And that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.